acting. It's a huge part of actually breathing life into these characters. And especially in today's day and age with anime and video gaming, then what I'm going to do, and this is a crucial part of voice acting, I'm going to kill you. I'm going to kill you because we have to have a good death yell. And we're going to do death yells. Yes. It would be my honor to kill you. Okay, now that's something that I've never heard before. I've just had her say, "Please kill me." I would do that. So it's a lot of fun, and I like to turn this into a little contest just for fun. But what I do is, if you have seen me, I'm in the dealer's hall. And I've got a table with these beautiful posters that I have had multiple artists across the country have put together for me that I've commissioned. And I autographed them. So I'll do a first, a second, and a third place winner on this. And it'll be by applause. And the third place winner, I've got little 5x7 Kill la Kill Aniplex autograph cards that I will autograph for you. Sound good? Yeah! Awesome. And our second place winner will get an autographed picture of this. And then our first place winner, I've got those beautiful posters, will get their choice of a beautiful poster autographed of the character of their choice that I have. So does that sound good? Yeah! Okay, so real quick, and I'm going to monitor my phone just to stay on time to make sure that I can get up as many people up here as possible. And when you come up on stage, I do just want to give you warning in advance. It's a small stage. There are chairs stacked back here, and there are chairs up here, and I don't want, actually, as a matter of fact, I'll just put these down since I've got the wireless microphone. I don't want anybody falling all over the place. So when you come up, what I'm going to ask you to do is I will have one person on this magically awesome microphone, and then probably another person on whichever one has got the best sound quality. Or I might actually just give one of you guys this, okay? Because I'm loud, and I'm sure all of you guys can hear me back there, right? Yeah. Okay. All right, so real quick, let's start off. I'll take a few questions to get things started, and then we'll start having some fun. Does that sound good? Yeah. All right, yes, you, sir. The death yell, because then my character's dead. Then I'm not getting paid anymore. So that would be my least favorite thing to do. Yes?
How do you start off in voice acting? Like, what's the best way to start off like voice acting?
You know, there's no one way to do it. I got my start on stage in New York, and there was a voiceover agent in the audience who saw me and gave me her card and said, "You need to call me." But I'll give you a website to go to. It's iwannabeavoiceactor.com, and done by a very successful voice actor named D. Bradley Baker. Yeah, exactly, the guy's a stud. The website's ugly, but it is chock full of amazing information. And I give that website to everybody just because he did a bang-up job of really knocking it out of the park, putting that information in there. And I think it's so helpful, so helpful. Yes. How would I pitch my voice? Oh, how do you pitch your voice to like a producer? I just do it. No, how do I go about like changing my voice? I've been doing that since I was this big, and I used to annoy the crud out of my poor mom because I was like, "Hi, Mom!" You know, doing all sorts of weird voices. It's just something I've always done. But I just say practice. And you know what I do? And here's the thing: is I actually teach voiceover. Okay, and one of the things that drives me nuts are these purist teachers that are like, "Never mimic, you have to create the character yourself." No, I mimicked everything, okay? Because then you practice pitches and you practice accents and you practice all this stuff. Then you have a Rolodex of all these voices that you're doing in your head. Then you take the character and you apply all of those different characters that you already have and that you practiced, and you apply that to that and you mix them up, and now you got a whole new character. So that's what I do, is I mimic and I practice. Yeah.
Is that the squirrel? Oh, that's the squirrel again.
You saw this?
Well, Mr. Squirrel.
Yesterday.
Here's what I'll say. If you want to do anime, if you want to do video games, it would definitely be wise. If you want to do anime specifically, you gotta go to LA, New York, or Dallas. That's where anime is done. That's where it's dubbed. If you want to do video games, you have a little more leniency. You can do it elsewhere, but mainly your hubs are going to be Los Angeles and Los Angeles. Okay, somewhat Texas, somewhat New York, and even a little bit Seattle, but Atlanta. Atlanta's close to here. Okay, so you could probably go to Atlanta. Go ahead. My big break that got me noticed in the industry. My big break that got me noticed in the industry would be just them seeing my face constantly throughout the acting pool in Los Angeles. I networked well, I got to know people, they got to know me, and I worked constantly. But as far as like what generated a fan base for me, is that what you're asking specifically? Probably Grimjow would be the first one that kind of put me on the radar here at anime conventions. Would be probably a safe bet. Richter Belmont from Castlevania was another one, probably, that people noticed. And then Time Crisis, I did Time Crisis. I did Giorgio Bruno. And then Vaughn of the Dawn, Vaughn from Gun Sword. That definitely got some people noticing who I was in this arena. So, yes.
Okay, so, wait, should I stand so you can hear me better?
Sure, yeah.
Okay, so how do you get it so that you can voice out from just like one genre of character? Like, you can do bubbly people, how do you get it so that you can do, I don't know, more serious people voice acting?
That's acting. How old are you?
I'm 19.
You're 19. Okay, so are you in college?
Yeah.
Okay, so if you're in high school still, or if you're in college, I got my degree in journalism. Okay, but I still auditioned for and did every single play that I could possibly do in college. That was the wonderful thing about the theater department there. So I would recommend doing as much theater as you possibly can. Take as many acting classes as you possibly can from legitimate acting coaches, okay? I can go off on acting coaches that shouldn't be acting coaches. Make sure that acting teachers have got legitimate credits and credentials to be teaching you. Look at their own resumes, and they should have at least cast a whole bunch of stuff, or they should have starred in a bunch of stuff. But at any rate, take classes, do that, because you know what you do when you do that is you practice, and your repertoire becomes much bigger. And that's how you go from being a happy, bubbly, crazy character to serious Vaughn of the Dawn. You know, you do all these different characters by doing that. It's practice, 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 practice. That's the best bit of advice that I can give you. You, sir.
How would you personally voice the check so you avoid being strained or severe injury
To your vocal cords? Yeah, because a lot of times, that's actually a good question, is he wants to know how do you avoid injury when you're shouting, you're screaming, the Call of Duty types of games. And that's a serious thing. The short answer to that is you don't. Is you schedule those types of sessions on a Friday or a Thursday so that you have the weekend to recover. The second is, who in here are singers? If you're a singer, you know when I'm going to tell you to use your head voice, right? Where you come out up and over the top as opposed to, huh, right? Come out up and over the top, and I can scream for 4 hours. If I scream like bloody murder, like without doing that, 15 minutes, I'm done. And then my director will never hire me again. So learn how to use your head voice. Super important. Yeah?
What's the strangest thing you've had to record for a project?
The strangest thing that I've had to record for a project. I can't really, was that? The iron? Oh, yeah, get it. There we go. That's a good one. Okay, so for those of you who haven't seen Kill la Kill, I play a talking sailor uniform. And in this, scene that I do, and this is good because this won't give away any part of the story, but it's a funny gag, and Senket's, being the sailor uniform that he is, gets ironed for the first time. Thinks he's going to be tortured, so he's freaking out. No! Real ghost! Definitely the ones that paid me. No, I would say my most favorite character, I can't name just one, but I mean, Grimjow definitely tops my list. I saw him, and I hadn't been casted as him in the anime, but I saw him because I got cast in a video game probably about two and a half years before he ever got released in the anime. And I saw this dude, and I was like, oh my god, this guy's awesome. I have got to play him in the anime. And I hounded the studio for 2 years, and they still made me audition against 30 or 40 guys to get it. So he was definitely one of my favorites. My least favorite? Man number 2. Man number 2. No, you know what the worst is? Is they do what's called Walla. Oh, how I hate doing Walla. But you do it because your director asks you to. But Walla is that background chitter-chatter that goes on when they're the two main characters in the scene, and after you're recording all of your stuff, then you do what are called incidentals. And incidentals are man number 2, thug number 1, whatever it is. And so Walla is the worst for me just because literally you've got 90 seconds of chitter-chatter in the back that they want you to fill. And no script. And so you're ad-libbing, they're like, talk about lunch. You know? You're like, hey, how was lunch? Oh, it was good. Oh, I had a burger. Okay. You know, you're doing that for like 90 seconds is a long time. And when you don't have anything to say. So that's my least favorite. You have your hand up in the back.
How do you feel about people who watch subbed only?
That is their prerogative. If they only want to watch subs, more power to them. Anybody else? Yes?
Now, after you found a character like,
But they're missing out. They're missing out on the good stuff. No, I'm just kidding. Sorry, go ahead.
you were cast as Gilgamesh in the Fate Stay Night series, will they bring you back for, like, when they release the Heaven Field movie?
Why would I answer that, Mom? I hope so. No, you know, here's the thing, is that's a 50-50 shot. If it goes to a different production company, they may totally recast it. It has nothing to do with you as an actor, it has to do with a million other business decisions that they're doing. If it goes to the same studio, it's likely that they'll bring you back. It really depends. So it's 50-50 whether they bring you back or not. Typically, if they don't bring you back, they want to move in a completely different direction, so they don't ask you to come and audition again. Or then, you know, which is what happens more often than not, is you get a wonderful email that says, hey, are you available to come and work? And you say, yes, because I like getting paid. All the way in the back. Hi.
I'm curious, what did you do in New York?
What did I do in New York?
Yes.
I had the time of my life in New York. I was 22 years old, young, good-looking, lots of hair, single, and went there and I hit the stage. I was doing stand-up theater, I was doing sketch comedy, and I was having the time of my life. I had a ball living in New York, and that's really where I learned a lot of my acting chops. Was just being on the stage and failing more, and then failing more until, you know, things started going right, until I started learning. And so I loved New York. It was one of the best times of my life. I look back very fondly at my time in